I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And this is The Coin Show.
Oh boy, another one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
On this episode of The Coin Show podcast, Matt and I will answer some listener questions. We'll talk about the coolest thing to walk into Matt's shop this week. But first, as always, the news.
Who's the news brought to you by?
Oh, we have sponsors. We have sponsors. Now we got it to the point. I love this part because now the listeners are starting to write in and give us their own suggestions, and I don't even have to come up with the stupid stuff anymore.
This is my new favorite part of the show.
You know what? It is now currently my favorite part of the show. Let's see.
The Coin Show is brought to you by.
Well, that's kind of what I was looking for. Okay. This episode of The Coin Show is brought to you by listeners just like you who support Mike and Matt and everything that The Coin Show does by becoming patrons. You can become a patron too. It's easy. Just go to www.patreon.com/thecoinshow and make a contribution. There are more than 4 tiers of patrons, and they start as low as $1 a month. Thank you to all of our patrons for making this show possible. Now we can get to the silliness.
Yes.
Because the silliness is what we're here for.
What do we got?
Yeah. The news is brought to you by scratch paper. When you need to write it down, but still want to throw it away, scratch paper.
I love that one.
Now it's Dan Fisher. He gave us something in 146. He's like 2 episodes in a row. I think he's going to start signing his name, Dan Fisher, Coin Show contributor. You know, he wrote us an email saying, "Thank you for mentioning me in 146. I'm famous now."
Well, now you're real famous.
Yeah, now you're real famous. Now you just led the news.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. I really like that one. And we had another one. The Coin Show brought to you by rubber bands. When you want the smell of the post office, but don't want to set foot in one. We got the best listeners.
Those are both great. I love both of those tremendously. That's awesome.
So according to multiple news sources, Matt, the most valuable United States modern coin ever sold at auction, a 1975 no S proof dime, changed hands twice in less than a week, both times for record prices.
Okay. All right. I mean, great.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as there's money in it, you're all over it, right?
I mean, it's an interesting coin. It's rare.
Well, yeah, there are 2 known specimens, and the better of the 2 sold September 6th for $456,000, and then sold again just 5 days later for $516,000 to an anonymous collector.
So somebody made 75 G's in 5 days.
50. 456 to 516.
So
50 grand.
Yeah, wow.
So my bet is that the collector likely had a deal in place to pay a $50,000 premium over the acquisition price, you know, because I just think that it would be a way to do it because the new owner wants to be anonymous. And I think that's a really good way to do that. You know, if you want to remain anonymous, you have somebody else buy the coin and then sell it in a private transaction just days later.
That's 60,000. 456 to 516.
I said corrected. That's why you're the money man. You just found 10 grand.
That'd be nice.
Great. Yeah. So the coin update story says that the offer came the day after the auction. But I would just see that as an attempt to throw people off the scent of the new owner.
So somebody's internet was down.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, look at it. I point to this fact. There are 3 people that bought the coin in the auction, meaning that they needed partners to raise the cash to buy the coin for a quick flip and a guaranteed payout. That's just my theory. I mean, I think that makes sense. It's kind of the Occam's razor theory. It's just the most explainable.
It's weird. That's really strange.
Yeah. So I don't think that you would go through that much work to acquire something just to turn it that quickly. You know, I mean, that part of it doesn't make sense to me. So
it doesn't make sense. Why didn't the guy that bought it for 516 just buy it in the auction?
Because he wanted to be anonymous.
Okay, so have a dealer bid for you.
Right, but then depending on what dealer bids for you, Now you have, the whole issue of if they know you are near him and kind of put because think about it, that's a big money coin.
Right.
So
I mean, whatever.
It's not going to be just everybody.
Right.
Think of the small handful of collectors that you know that could buy that coin.
Yeah, not very many. So
right.
It's worth his money to be anonymous, I guess. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that was what it's all about. So I put on my detective sniffer. That's just my take on it.
Cool.
Speaking of finest known rare coins, an 1853D quarter eagle. Yes. The finest known at MS62 will be sold in a heritage auction held October 15th through the 18th.
Well, those coins are, those Dahlonega coins, a lot of them don't come very nice. So it does not surprise me a bit that 62 is the high grade, the highest known for that coin.
Our friend Doug Winter estimates that between 85 and 105 of these coins still exist. That's cool. It. 85 and 105. This one features a streak of mint grease from Liberty's head to star number 7 and an unusually strong strike for a Dahlonega mint coin.
I was just thinking that, sitting here looking at a picture of it.
Right. And it's like, it is an unusually strong strike for a Dahlonega mint coin, but that begs the question to me is, why isn't it graded higher then?
Well, because it has a grease streak, I think. I think it was netted.
As I'm saying, are you grading it across the series, or are you grading it by date and mint mark, which is what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, I grade that coin by date and mint mark. Well,
and if there's only, if it's the finest known at MS62.
Yeah, no.
So, anyways, I expect the coin's going to bring monster money.
It's hard to say. That kind of stuff, it's hard to lay a number on that coin.
Well, yeah. Well, anytime the finest of anything changes hands, it usually brings big money. It usually brings a nice premium. And now you're talking about something that is also at the same time very rare.
Right.
So the finest known rare coin, now you start to talk into the, 6 figures, sometimes even higher than that. I don't think this will go any, I don't think
this will go higher. Coin, but
yeah, no, but it's definitely $100,000 coin.
Oh, for sure. Several hundred, I would suspect.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So now, as for more recent issues, Numismatic News is reporting that the Apollo 11 5-ounce coin is in stock again. So if you'd like to pick one up at $154.95, and oddly, at least to me, Numismatic News asked the question of why the 3-coin America the Beautiful quarter set doesn't sell very well, pointing out that the 5-ounce pucks each individually have sold more than the 3-coin sets.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So it's one of those I think statisticians stats. So it's one of those figures lie and liars figure kind of thing, because in my opinion, the mint I expect to be tone deaf on this whole 3-coin America the Beautiful quarter set. Yeah. But I always thought Numismatic News to kind of have their finger on the pulse of collectors a little bit better.
Sure.
So the reason the 3-coin sets don't sell well is that, they just don't include all the uncirculated coins. They don't have the S-Mint coin in there.
Yeah.
So it's a P and a D and a proof. If the mint were to place the S-Mint uncirculated coin in these sets, they'd absolutely sell like hotcakes. They would sell them out. The only people who buy these, in my opinion, are people who chase a complete set of mint issues, as every single one of these coins is available in another set.
Right. Huh. I never really thought about that. But yeah, I think the mint needs to hire you. Serious biz.
I just really think that they need to wake up. It's one of these things where you're making this S-Mint coin and you're selling it in bags and rolls. So they understand it's a premium, but it's not available anyplace else. So if you got this dog that you're trying to get to hunt, put the S-Mint in it.
Right.
It makes it a complete set. Now you're going to sell those things out. That's just me. Also, among the offerings from the U.S. Mint that likely won't sell, the first 2019 American Innovation dollars are now available in 25 coin rolls and 100 coin bags.
So they're putting out the BQ versions. Okay, I see. Got
4 states a year. 25 coin rolls, 100 coin bags. 4 states a year. This program will conclude in 2032. I expect that I will be concluded long before that.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's a program nobody wants, and they're just going to bang them out anyway for the next 14 years.
Seniorage, bro.
These coins are god awful, though.
Tell me how you really feel about them.
Yeah, I know. There is hope on the new coin horizon, though.
Yeah.
2019 W $25 reverse proof Palladium Eagle is now available.
Especially with Palladium going bananas right now.
Yeah, I mean, since our last show, I've had to do some minimal research on these. And although I'm really not clear if there is a bullion version, I'm now clear on the mint issued coins.
Yeah.
So the Palladium coins were only issued in the 1 ounce size, $25 denomination, and a very small mintage. So in 2017, the mint produced the first Palladium Eagle in a typical bullion satin finish and sold it through bullion dealers. And all 15,000 of the coins sold the first day.
Right. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Okay. In 2018, a proof finish coin was offered. And again, only 15,000 coins were produced, but these were sold by the mint directly. They were sold at a price of $1,387.50.
Right.
So
well,
here's the mint getting smart again.
Yep.
They sold out less than 5 minutes.
Well, and the price of Palladium also ran up too, so that also helps.
Now this year, a reverse proof version from the mint has a mintage of 30,000.
Oh, there you go. They're getting a little smarter.
Well, they didn't blow it up too much. I think 25 might have been a better number, but 30 grand at an issue price of $1,987.50.
Yeah, I can handle that.
We'll see. So, just in case you think I forgot about the world mints and their silliness, the Republic of Palau has issued a gold coin in the shape of a ghost just in time for Halloween.
Because why not? Who doesn't?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want one?
Here you go, kids. Hold out your trick or treat.
Yeah, sure. According to Coin Update, the government and Treasury of Palau have released new gold coins, which are just in time for the entertaining and eagerly celebrated All Hallows Eve. Yeah, more commonly known as Halloween. Let's see. The coins bear a face value of $1 Palau, whatever that is. They're 0.999 gold and weigh a whopping 0.5 grams.
Oh, so they're teeny tiny.
They're a half gram. They're tiny.
They're teeny tiny.
They're like charm size. They're smaller than charm size.
No, you know what they are? You know, you remember that Lucky Charms cereal?
Yeah.
You know, with the little marshmallows?
Yeah.
They're smaller than those, I bet.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So they used to sell 5 and 10 gram ingots of gold back before gold was legal to own.
Yeah.
They used to sell those. That was what people wore. So it's like a 10 gram ingot is...
They still make them. Yeah, 10
right.
grams
So,
are about an inch
so
or
think about this. So half an ounce or half a gram.
Yeah, they're 31.1 grams in a troy ounce.
Half a gram. Well, no, those are 10 grams. This is half a gram.
I know. So there's 31.1 grams in a troy ounce.
They're 1.3 centimeters in size.
I like that. Wow.
Yeah. No, Palau.
Palau.
Our favorite neighbors, America's Hat, have created a 2 ounce silver make-believe with photonic strike.
What is that?
It's photonic strike features. I'm sorry. And they create. Okay, so what this does is, you know how there's a maple leaf, right?
Right.
When you move this around, it pulsates.
What kind of drugs do they have up there?
Well, weed's legal up there, so.
Oh, that's it.
That's probably it. And that's all you need for some creativity. Just saying. The process replicates tiny mirrors on the surface of the coin. And as silver is highly reflective, I mean, that's what they used to use in mirrors, right? The effect manipulates the photons of light and creates the illusion that the maple leaf is pulsating as you tip the coin to change the angle of the light. So, cool innovation? Absolutely. This is what you need on the American Innovation dollar coins.
Wow.
I'm just saying. No, Palau.
Palau.
Yeah.
No, that's man, I don't quite know what to think of that. I mean, it's one of those things where they start they discover this technology that places are using, and now all of a sudden they just like, look what I can do. You know,
yeah, it's like, here, look. But see, isn't that what they're supposed to do?
I mean,
see, that's is so, they're just ancient. They move at the oh, let's see, what rate do they move at? Speeding pace? Turtle, no. Glacial. There's glacial. They are at a clip of a glacier. And then you got, the Canadian Mint that just produces all the, yeah, okay. So they're out there sometimes, right? But
right.
Who cares? They don't make very many of them. They sell them.
I mean, and they're innovating all these different technologies they use to make coins that we haven't used yet. You know,
and they're kind of giving a big middle finger to all the collectors in the world, saying you can't collect all of them.
Right. Man, you're kind of grumpy tonight, aren't you?
Grumpy tonight. I told you that.
That's all right. Hey.
Well, speaking of grumpy, finally in the news.
Oh boy, here it comes.
I don't typically take too many stands on coins and what should be produced and what should not. But this is one that I kind of take issue with. So the United States House of Representatives has passed a bill to the Senate for a national Purple Heart commemorative coin. And my problem is not with honoring Purple Heart recipients. We honestly can't do that enough. My issue is with the distribution of the proceeds. So this is
okay.
So this is not an editorial on the National Hall of Honor for the Purple Heart veterans. I think that if we truly want to honor people that have been wounded in service to our country, we should give the money to help treat the actual veterans who are still alive and have received the honor. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you, but
I think that there are better things to do other than build awareness. Of Purple Heart veterans. That's just kind of this whole creating awareness thing. It just it rings really hollow to me.
Well, I mean, and most people know what a Purple Heart is. If you walk down the street and say, "Hey, man, what's a Purple Heart for?" Most people are going to know.
Well, the whole thing is I think that the protocol with Purple Heart is that you're supposed to be buried with it because nobody else is supposed to be able to have it.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. It's an honor to somebody who was wounded in the line of duty defending our country. I think that there's nobody that should be honored more.
Right.
So why are we creating this coin and creating this there's going to be, after they're done recouping all the costs, there's going to be a decent amount of change, and they're going to use it to build a Hall of Honor, which, hey, great idea. It's a museum. But at the same time, it's like it's hard to do this without getting political about it. But it's like the VA system is horribly backed up and has problems. And you've got all these Afghanistan veterans and Iraq veterans and all these guys that have served in the last 20 years that have severe mental problems, that have PTSD, that have all these other problems. They need the help.
Right.
And I just think that, if you're going to do something, let's do something for them.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That I'm just sitting here like, yep. I when you told me earlier that you were going to kind of, editorialize this a little bit, I was like, all right, but well, I agree with everything you just said. So
yeah, it has the potential to be a bomb, right? Because you can get really political about it. That's not my point.
Right.
My point is in the actual thought of the giving. I think that commercializing certain things just shouldn't be done. That's just me.
Well, with a lot of their programs, I think that. How do I say this? It's funny because you really do want to talk about it without being political, but
right, and it's almost impossible.
It is. It's hard. I think that while the thought might have been in the right place, I don't necessarily think that the execution is going to have the intended effect that you and I think it should. And
to be fair, I think that no matter what you do, you're going to have somebody that's not happy. Right. So, that's just, okay, so now Matt and Mike are being unhappy. Okay, well, who cares about Matt and Mike, right? At the end of the day, we're just two jerks doing a podcast. So, but I think that the overall thing is that we need to look at these commemorative programs as something a little bit, because they're supposed to be supportive of a cause.
Right.
If you're going to support this cause, let's support, the
cause.
I
think in this case, the cause is building this museum or whatever, rather than
that's the wrong cause.
People. Yeah, I think so too. I agree. Wow. That's weird that we actually agree on something.
So the news tonight was brought to you by Rubber Bands. When you want to go to the post office but don't want to set foot in one.
I love that one.
And by where was the other one? Let's see. Here it is. And by scratch paper when you need to write it down but still want to throw it away. I love that.
I love both of those. This is like my favorite thing of the show.
No. Well, you also had one in here for permanent markers. I didn't think it was quite as good. Nothing lasts as long or smells as good as permanent markers.
Ooh.
That's, the whole sniffing.
I hate that smell.
Huffing permanent markers.
I use Sharpies all the time, and I hate that smell. Yeah, we were always writing on coin flips and stuff.
I guess you're right, but I never used a Sharpie because they're just too damn big.
Well,
Just saying. I'm not a nimble guy, I guess.
Like these right here. No, that's not one. Here's one. Like this. I use it all the time. Like this is. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Okay.
None of that.
So, let's see. Do we have any listener questions? Because if we don't, it's going to be brutal.
A short show? That's okay.
It's going to be a really short show. No, I don't want to shortchange our people.
Well, no, of course not. But it is, again, summer is kind of slowing down a little bit. And
it is. Well, summer's over.
Fall's here.
Fall. It's autumn.
Oh, boy.
It's time to get on that. So let's see. Do I have any questions? Well, here, let's go back to that one because, Daniel Fisher wrote to us. Mike, dear Mike, and then it has in parentheses, and Matt. So you can tell he really does listen. Thanks for mentioning me in 146. I'm famous now, although my wife and kids are less than impressed. I'm glad you like my stuff. I was worried for a while that I might have just been bothering you, and if I ever get on your nerves, just let me know. Of course, at some point, I may come up with a real question for you. In the meantime, and he gave us sponsored ideas. All the best, Dan Fisher. Dan, you just keep doing what you do.
Right.
Yeah, there's no such thing
interaction.
As
so.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Shouldn't you have done this before the show? Just saying.
Well, you know what I was doing before the show.
I know. Yeah. I'm just giving you crap. Just because I can.
Yeah, you can too. So let's see. Cleo says, hello, avid listener here. I just wanted to put a question to the two of you with the recent announcement made by PCGS to start giving proof-like designations to all coins. What coins do you think we will start seeing in proof-like other than Morgan's? I recently seen a proof-like seated dime and a handful of German coins, but suspect we might start seeing some others showing up and wanting your thoughts on it. Keep up the good work. Cheers, Cleo.
Right. No, that's a good question. We recently got a 1998D nickel graded in a proof-like PCGS holder.
Really?
Yeah. It's the finest known 1998D nickel. It's worth like $1,000 too. It's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Those pop reports. So yeah, now you have basically. I told you when this first happened that was my opinion, was that this was going to be a huge inrush of money because everybody's going to have all the proof-like top pops.
Well, right, and and there are some series that and certain dates come proof-like Mercury dimes. Some of the coins actually come proof-like.
And I think that's more what Cleo is asking about is, what series do you think are going to lend themselves to proof-like? Although you just proved it with, a Jefferson nickel.
There's going to be a few in every series, I think. But there are some series that do have a certain amount of proof-like coins that we noticed. Mercury dimes is one. $20 gold pieces. Some of the late, $20 Liberties, 1904s. There's a lot of proof-like strikes in those coins.
Really?
So there's a.
What about Walkers?
Walkers, I can't remember ever seeing a proof-like coin before.
I will tell you that I once saw a proof-like war nickel
Yep.
It actually had a cameo reverse on it. It was unbelievable. I'd never seen one like it before.
Yep. You'll probably never see another one because they're just so rare. Because the way that those coins get made is that they are literally like one of the very first strikes off the dies.
Yep.
And because these dies are so fresh and so clean, you get that PL look to them. And then within a few strikes, it's gone. So those coins, and then they imagine that very first few coins actually surviving the minting process, and then going through circulation and surviving any condition that's going to be where you can tell that they're proof like. That's why you don't see so many across a lot of series. Now, like I said, the 0420s, you do see those just simply because a lot of those coins got saved. But I personally own a 45S micro S dime that I'm going to be sending back in because it's proof like. So it's a Mercury dime. But so there are a few other series. Some of the seeded series come that way too. Some of the low mintage dates come proof like just simply because they just used a couple of pairs of dies and that was it. So
yeah. I mean, that's I think the hardest thing for people to understand is that the minting process has changed over the years, and the way that they do it has changed over the years. So, although the minters made really nice dies and they frosted them and they made them beautiful, the first couple of strikes that come off of them would generally have a cameo finish. But they would change out the reverses and the obverses, at odd times. So it didn't, you didn't end up with a proof like coin on one side and the other, and that's why finding one with both sides, particularly in a Monster Deep cameo, is really rare, and it's something that you just don't see that many of. So yeah, I have there's a Mercury dime that I have. It's a 62 full bands.
Yeah,
and one of the only reasons that I really know that it's not a proof coin is because it's an estimate.
Right.
So I mean, they just didn't make them there. But yeah, it has that kind of proof like finish to it. It has full bands in a 62. So, it's just.
It's so funny that you mentioned that they switch out the dies like that because just the other day I was looking. There is a die pair from 1878 in the Morgans where the obverse of the coin is dimple and the reverse of the coin looks like a regular old Morgan dollar. In mint state. Yeah, because they switched out the obverse die and kept the reverse die in service.
Yeah.
And so the front of the coin is just monster proof like, and then you flip it over and you're like, oh, just regular Morgan. So
well, you see that a lot with 1880, 81, and 82 S's too. Yeah. The reverses of them are almost always frosted.
Right. So, but this one is just like dramatic. It's a real. When I find one sometime, I'll have to show it to you because
it looks like it's two different coins. Doesn't it does.
It really does. It looks like somebody cut a coin in half and stuck them together.
Although they would never do that with a beautiful proof Morgan.
You'd be surprised. There's
just when you think you've seen everything.
I shared a story to the Facebook.
You haven't seen again.
I shared a story to the Facebook page the other day about somebody that cut two nickels in half and then put them back together.
Yes.
And got through PCGS. So
the 26S,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or it was NGC, and NGC actually had to buy that coin.
They made kind of a mistake. So, did we have any Facebook questions?
I don't know.
Did you look?
I have not, but I can. If you want to
we should.
Scrolling and talking, I'll see what I can come up with.
Well, no, you talk and I'll look.
Oh, okay. Oh, Lord. This is the part. See, you're such a great leader at this. I'm just not really great at just taking the reins.
I was just kind of demonstrating to you that it's nowhere near as easy as it sounds.
No, I completely
I know you do. You're grateful. And
if we don't, we don't. I mean, that's just...
Yeah, I just don't think we do.
It's okay. That's all right.
So you need to interact. You can do that with us via our Facebook page, via the Coin Show Facebook page. You can interact with us on our coinshowradio.com page.
Yep.
You can interact with us on Instagram, on Twitter.
You can tweet the twits.
We're not on TikTok yet. We're working on that.
No, we're not.
No?
No. Can we key that? Can we make this a thing? Hashtag tweet the twits. We can be the twits and people can tweet at us on Twitter. Tweet the twits.
Hashtag tweet the twits. You got to be really, really careful with.
I know. I had to slow myself down there after the third time I said it.
Here's the thing: is I always suggest before you suggest a hashtag that you actually check it.
You type it out first.
It's amazing what happens in Urban Dictionary like situations. Yeah, so I've learned that the hard way. It's like because I was looking for hashtags for bowling.
Oh,
yeah, there's just a lot of them that are really kind of destroyed in bad ways. So yeah, you can get in touch with us though on Facebook, on our Facebook fan page. We have a Friends of the Coin Show group on Facebook, which you have to ask to join. But I will tell you the great thing about that group is it's a bunch of really great guys, and you get to see everything that everybody posts.
Yeah, there's 732 friends, I think.
Well, there's over 750, I think. And the great part about it is it's like there's some knowledgeable people on there.
Yeah, I check it about 6 times a day.
Yeah. And there's still knowledgeable people. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, was that a?
No,
did I?
Never.
Oh.
Never. I love you.
Okay.
I really want to go on with more show, and I don't have a lot of it.
Well, I can show off some of the cool stuff. I can talk about some cool stuff.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I think you should. But I want to tell you that the coolest thing has kind of grown into its own thing now, hasn't it?
It really has, man. I've been just having a blast with this. Again, I know I say that like every episode, but
but you've upped it a level. It's like we created the coolest thing in episode 26.
Really?
I remember this. Yeah, we created it in episode 26, and we started it then, and it was like, let's just talk about cool thing, and it was like then. It's like you have always really enjoyed the segment, really enjoyed talking about it. Everybody's really loved hearing it. But my biggest bone with it has always been people need to see what you're doing.
Right.
And for a while, that became the running joke. I was kind of busting out. It's like, when are we going to see it? Now you're way beyond that because now you're posting it on the internet before you're even talking about it on the show.
I just take steps. Like, I'm not like a baby step kind of guy. I'm like, I want to jump up 4 steps and just take to the next level.
Exponential growth. That's the only kind you have.
So for those of you that didn't watch the video, which has been posted, it's a little kind of almost like a teaser for the people that
video.
The video. Well, the video.
You posted like 8 of them in the last 2 weeks.
I know, but I was going to talk about the Civil War token.
Okay.
Which is a pretty cool little piece.
It is a pretty cool little piece.
Yeah. And if you didn't watch the video, which is on Facebook on our Coin Show page, it's on Friend of the Coin Show, it's on YouTube. If you have not watched the video yet, I bought a pretty cool little Civil War token. It was from a guy named M.H. Clark. And let me pull up his information again here. I'm just going to get on the Google machine real quick. I wasn't thinking we were transitioning into this quite yet, but that's okay.
Yeah, here's the great thing. So this is not an ad for Facebook, but we have a Facebook or not Facebook. This is not an ad for YouTube, but we now have a YouTube channel where you can see all these cool things.
Yep.
And if you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, what's going to happen is every time one of us posts a new video, you're going to get a notification and you're going to find out and you're going to get to go see it. Now today. No, it was yesterday. Justin posted his first video, didn't he?
He did, yeah. We've had some guys that we've been, kind of talking to over the years and have been working with us. And, Justin Irvine, a friend of ours, decided that he came to us and said, hey, guys, what do you think about if I make some videos too? And we said, heck yeah, let's do this. So
yeah, absolutely.
So Justin posted a cool video. I suggest you go watch it. But let's talk about this Civil War token while we're here.
Absolutely.
We bought a cool little coin. It is a Civil War token from Clarkston, Michigan. I don't know where that's at. Have you ever been to Clarkston, Michigan, Mike?
I have not.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where that's at, but
I'll find out for you.
There you go. It's for a merchant named M.H. Clark. And the token is a standard Civil War token. It looks very much like an Indian head penny. It does have an Indian on one side. And then on the back it says M.H. Clark across the top. And then down the middle it says dry goods, hardware, boots, and shoes. And M.H. Clark was a merchant from Clarkston, Michigan. And he... Oh, man, where did my... Gee whiz. I just had the thing here, now I lost it.
You had me and you lost me.
I did, sorry.
So I will tell you this, that watching the video on YouTube, the coin itself, it's sometimes a little hard to get perspective.
Yeah.
But it's in a slab, so it makes it easier. But this coin looks like it might have been struck from a cent. Originally, do you think that they might have struck because it looks a little bit bigger than a cent?
No, I mean they were very similar in their planchets between the Civil War tokens and the cents, because basically that's what the Civil War tokens were doing at that time, was replacing cents in circulation. They were circulating around the towns that they were being issued in.
Yeah, because there was no money to be had. I mean, there just wasn't any coinage.
Right. And if man, I can't. I had this saved on the computer at the office, and now I can't find it here. So we can still talk about old Mr. Clark, though.
Absolutely. So if you go to the Clarkston, Michigan Chamber of Commerce page,
yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
Pure Michigan.
Yep.
That it's part of the. Let's see, it's 40 miles northwest of Detroit.
Huh. Okay, so northwest. Okay, so it's kind of in the middle of the state, really. If you
40 miles northwest is actually like a suburb of Detroit, on the outskirts of Detroit. And honestly, Detroit kind of sits down to the east in Michigan, so it's like in the far east part.
Huh. And
because Detroit is right where the bridge is to Canada.
Huh.
There's a bridge from Detroit to Windsor.
Yeah, Windsor's like the cleanest city in the world. If you've never been there, by the way.
I've never been there.
It's
no, I take that back. I have been there because I drove through Canada to get to Niagara Falls once.
So Milton Henry is M.H. Clark, and he was born in 1820, and he died in 1892. And he built one of the very first stores in Clarkston on the corner of Washington and Main Street, which, if you know anything about small towns, that Main Street is where you want to be, because that's kind of the center of town. And the cool thing about M.H. Clark and his store is that the building is still there. It first shows up as being a store in 1844, and it was on the site of an old mill property, and it looks like it was used in its mercantile purposes until 1872.
Wow.
Yeah, and
so that's an old town.
Yeah, an old town in Michigan,
but it's a Civil War token, so
right. I mean, this was made in 1863, and a little horde of these just came up recently. I think there was a dozen or so pieces that came out of his in mint state condition. The coin that I bought was a mint state 63 by PCGS.
You know, a lot of people don't kind of understand Civil War tokens, or are just unfamiliar with them in the ways of, like, you've actually seen tokens like these currently. They make them out of brass. They make them out of different merchants will put these tokens out, and they'll have like their business card on the back. It'll have their number and it'll have their website address, all this kind of stuff. That's what these people were doing during the Civil War, was they were creating these, and they ended up being passed in commerce because there was no change. There was no, real coinage of the realm out there. And so it's just kind of interesting that people took this so very personal item that was something that was it was unique to their town. It was unique to their place. They knew, this merchant.
Right. They didn't
trusted
have to,
the money.
They didn't have to put much information on them, because in the area that they were going to circulate in, people would know. Okay.
Well, not only that, it's not like there was a Walmart down on the corner.
Right.
There was only like one mercantile in the town, and that was
the county
it.
Sometimes even, yeah. So it's very interesting to see those. Sometimes you see them with addresses on them, depending on the size of the city. I know a lot of the ones from Indianapolis locally have the address, of like 525 West Washington Street. That's one I've seen before. And but today Washington Street is the main artery of our city. It goes right through the middle of town. So 5 blocks from the center of town now is just all big buildings.
Yeah,
so,
huge buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was a cool piece that walked in.
So what are you going to do with it?
I don't know yet. It's still sitting on my desk at the office.
Well, you're clearly not going to keep it. So,
we'll put it out. We'll put it out, and somebody will buy it, and it'll be cool, and they'll enjoy it. That's kind of I mean, it sounds crazy, but that's what happens with most of the stuff that comes in. It's like, man, that's really cool. I think somebody should buy that. So
the reason that I asked that is typically because you have certain buyers for certain stuff. Civil War tokens seem to be more of a specialty to me, and although this one, just because it's red brown, although that kind of surprises me at the age it is,
right.
The fact that it's red brown will bring interest from other collectors and other circles.
I get in trouble sometimes at the office, by Evan, because I tend to sometimes buy things just because they're cool, which they don't necessarily.
You're buying with your heart, not your head. Is that what you're telling us?
I may have been known to do that a time or two. So
I think we're all guilty of that from time to time.
But you know what? Most of the time, that stuff ends up selling pretty quick. So a lot of times, if my customers look at it and they think, "Wow, Matt thinks that's cool," I should think that's cool too. So sometimes I don't think it's cool because it's necessarily rare. I just think it's cool because of the history behind it. So
yeah, but you know, it's funny if you try to find a common thread throughout coin collectors. I think that the only one that I've ever really found is history.
Yep.
That every single coin collector loves history of one time, one era, or another. That's just
right. You get the ancient guys like
general.
Greek, Roman, ancient history, and you get the modern guys that like the times that they were alive. Like I think you kind of reach back to the times when you were around and remember stuff from a kid. That's why you collect what you collect sometimes.
Well, it is. I think why my interest is 20th century so much is because that's what people collected when I was a kid. That's what I saw. I never really saw seeded coins and things like that as a kid. I just never saw them. Never really saw Morgans either.
Right. Well,
never really saw them. So I never developed a big interest in them. And yet barber coins. I never saw barber coins until I was much older, and I love barber coins. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, but that kind of maybe was the spark that lit the fire.
We didn't start the fire.
Whoa, we just bounced right into a karaoke session. I like it. Random show tonight, buddy.
Woo. I'll tell you what, people are getting their, it's like, this is what happens when you don't edit. You're getting it tonight.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, you know what? This is live, and I love it. So
yes. No, absolutely.
Love it.
Okay, so let's see. We have anything else?
Any other business? Not that I know of.
Business at hand? I don't think we do. So I guess they're just going to have to wait for episode 148 for anything more.
No, they won't, because I'm going to be making more videos. I've already got one planned.
I have one planned myself.
What?
So Spike is going to try another one. Hopefully it's better than the opening video.
Hey, you were actually the first.
We did, right?
You were the first, so
I can Neil Armstrong. I can claim that.
Yep, that's right.
You're Buzz Aldrin. So you walk around and want everybody to pay attention to you. Yeah.
I'll be here, Buzz Aldrin, buddy.
Anyways, yeah, it's Maverick and Goose. That's us.
I'm not. Goose,
You're looking for the dick. There wasn't one.
I'm not Goose, am I?
No, I don't care. You want to be Maverick? I don't care. I'll get killed in the little movie. Anyway, so we would like to thank all of our contributors, all the people that make this show possible. We would like to thank the Facebook friends, all the Twitter followers, all the people that write to us, that inspire us. Doesn't this sound familiar? I haven't done this in a long time. But we would like to thank you, the listener, most of whom, because without you, this whole endeavor would be completely pointless. So you can find us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and see our videos coming up.
Check out the website, coinshowradio.com.
Coinshowradio.com. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Spreaker.com. We're on, it's now Apple Podcasts, not iTunes anymore. So I mean, you can find us. There's no way to not find us. We're out there. But we hope that you enjoy it, and that's why we do it. So that was probably. Oh, I want to thank Tony Alvarez and Tony Alvarez Band for the music. I want to thank Justin Irvine for his contribution to our video collection this week. I want to thank Ernesto for doing the fabulous job that he does with our Facebook page. We're actually starting to gather a crew, aren't we?
I don't know if you want to call it that, but I like it.
Oh, I mean, I like the group we got. Yeah. So for the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
We'll talk to you next time on the Coin Show.